Welcome back to the Video Lawyer. I'm attorney Craig Stager, practicing in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa. So, what's an attorney talking about video for? Well, I do a lot of video, and it's something I've been working very hard at for the last couple of years. And I've learned some things, both wins, and I've also learned some things the hard way that I want to share with you. Now, my message is going to be primarily for attorneys, but you don't have to be an attorney. If you have any interest in having video on YouTube, social medias like TikTok, Instagram, things like that, this will help you. But let me share with you. I'm going to share with you today, I think, 5 key things that can help you, that are pretty simple, pretty affordable to do, that you can do to really improve the quality and consistency and ultimately the reach of the video content that you're doing to market yourself, market your business, or whatever it is that you want to talk about in your videos. So, number one, and this is something that I've gone through kind of an evolution on myself, is how to record it and how to edit it. It can be overwhelming if you are looking online for ways to record video, how to edit it. You can ask 100 different people and get 100 different answers, and I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. There's just different situations work better for different people. And so let me tell you what I do and the why I do, and you can take that for what it's worth. So right now I record on a program called Riverside FM. That's what I'm recording this on right now. I'm by myself. I'm in my office. I have Riverside recording this video, and my staff, my team will then, as well as me to some extent, will then take that video after it's recorded, do some minor editing, and get it ready for publication. Why do I use Riverside? Well, when I started doing video about 2 3 years ago, the one thing that I knew was Zoom, and I recorded Zoom for a long time. And in fact, Zoom is still a very decent way to record video, especially if you're going to do any kind of interviews and things like that. People will complain that the video quality isn't great or the sound quality isn't great. Eh, I think it's adequate if you're making videos like I do. I don't know that it's all that important that it be the perfect video or the sound quality be perfect. Um, but Zoom works. Zoom is very easy to use. It's very, most people are used to using it, and so if you're just looking for a place to start, you can start with Zoom. Now, one of the things I learned kind of early on is Zoom worked good if you just recorded from start to finish and didn't need to do a lot of editing. At that time, there really wasn't a way in Zoom to edit videos. I'm not sure there is now even. But then, as you want to incorporate editing into your process, and I'm a strong advocate of minimizing editing, except when it's really helpful and important. So that kind of started the evolution. So I went from Zoom, I think, to StreamYard. Now, StreamYard is more of a streaming platform. It's not really designed for recording videos like this, but it works good for that. And I used it for about a year and had great luck with it. I like the fact that I could record videos ahead of time, as well as live stream. The biggest reason I went to StreamYard was a couple things. Number one is it made a nicer product, and you could add, let's say, banners and scrolling things on the screen. You could put names of people on it really well. You could change, the sort of the size and orientation of the videos. And so I still have an account for StreamYard, but it became very, very expensive. But it's still a great option, especially if you want to do streaming. It can do both. And the other big thing about StreamYard is it's cloud based, which means that when you record the videos, if you use team members like I do, I have both local team members and I have virtual assistants. It's nice that everyone can go in and access that, and you don't have to like be uploading videos from your phone or camera and stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of cloud-based recording programs and, if at all possible, editing programs. that's kind of how I ended up in Riverside, because Riverside um, does both the recording and some editing. It's not going to do hardcore editing, but you shouldn't need to do that, at least early on in your process. And I'm still using it, and I've made thousands of videos at this point in time, and I seldom have to do much editing, and if I do, Riverside does that for me, or my staff can do that in Riverside. One of the other reasons I went to Riverside was it works on if you have less than perfect internet connection. If there's any lags and stuff, it'll record locally and then upload it to the cloud when you're done. One of the things I found with StreamYard, at least, is if I had any hiccups in the internet connection, it would cut out and you lose video and then audio or both. And so that's kind of how I ended up in Riverside. I've been very happy with Riverside. I've been using it for probably 5 to 6 months now, and I have multiple studios for the different channels that I do. So find yourself something that works for you and your team. But if you're going to, hopefully, you don't want to be doing this all yourself. You want to make it available so that you can offload or delegate some of the parts of the process to other people. That's where I think you really want to think about a cloud-based service, especially something like Riverside that allows you to record to the cloud as well as edit there. So that's number one. Find a platform that works for you. I would not recommend just recording on your phone. You can do it, and I do some of that, but you still have to then you have to upload that to somewhere else to have it edited and things like that. So if it's any kind of long form content, at least, I would strongly think about recording into a program like Riverside. And there's other programs like OBS, Descript, some of those. I looked at all those, and they all kind of do more or less the same thing. Second, how to use AI in the process. Now, when I started making videos 3+ years ago, AI wasn't even a thing. I had to do it all myself. AI has changed things, and it has made things a lot better. Like, for example, when I'm making a video, so like before I made this video, I went into ChatGPT and I kind of explained what I wanted to do, some of the things I wanted to talk about, and asked it to kind of put together an outline for me and give me some ideas that maybe I wasn't thinking of. It's really great for that, for idea management and organization and brainstorming. So use AI, ChatGPT, whatever your preferred um, program is. Use it for idea generation, but don't become too dependent upon it. Then record your video. So like right now I'm recording this video, and then after we're done, once the video is done processing, I'll have a transcript, and then what do you do with that? Now, you can upload the transcript to a lot of different programs, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, and ask it to generate things like, I would ask it to generate, give me like 5 title ideas, 5 thumbnail ideas, maybe descriptions, chapters, things like that. That's where AI can be really helpful. And the other thing that I like about Riverside is it has that built into it. So literally I record into it, edit into it, and then I use the AI that's there to generate thumbnails, titles, descriptions, things like that. One thing I'll caution you though is be careful about using AI too much in preparing like video descriptions and things like that of your videos. Um, the AI models are trained to identify AI produced content. If you're going to go through the work of creating an actual video like I'm doing right now, don't waste that by plugging in a bunch of AI generated summaries or descriptions of that video into the description, because the algorithms can sense that and may not promote your video. I keep what I put into the actual description very small, and in fact, because all I think pretty much all of the platforms, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, whatever, are able to listen, interpret, and sort of work with the actual audio itself, it actually isn't that important to feed it that because it's doing it on its own. So I would use AI to help me come up with title ideas, thumbnail ideas, maybe identify keywords or hashtags, things like that. But I tend to put a lot less information in my descriptions, and instead I put maybe a line or two for at the beginning, and then I'll have like my contact information or your call to action, links, things like that. Like for example, in this video, I'll probably put a link to Riverside if you want to try it out. And then there's another program called Opus Clips that I'm going to talk about in a minute. I'll put links to that. Otherwise, I don't put a lot in the descriptions. So I think you have to think about what you're using AI for. I think it's great for idea generation, thumbnail ideas, title ideas, but then I would kind of stop there. So that's kind of where you can use AI. Number three, probably the most important thing you could do, especially if you're starting out, is to then convert that long form into short form, shorts, reels, things like that. And it's very easy to do that. One of my favorite programs that continues to be exceptional is called Opus Pro. So what you can do with Opus is you can take a long form video and either upload it, or if you have it on like YouTube, post a link to that into Opus and it'll chop it up into shorts and reels. It does a really, really good job of it. And then you can then take it and connect that account to your various social media channels. So like pretty much every morning I have short form videos coming from Opus to my Facebook page, YouTube page, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I think those are the big ones. And you can do that automatically. So get yourself a way to generate short form content. Riverside also has that ability, but because it doesn't integrate well with the social media channels, I end up just going over to Opus and using that to create the shorts and reels and then publish them. So use something like that. And then I think you want to publish at least a long form video every week, like on YouTube, and then short form content. I think you should shoot for 4 to 5 times a week with short form content. And you can do both, or you can do more, but I would encourage you to do at least that if you want to try and grow a channel. So use the short form. Number 4, this is where I see a lot of video creators, and I'll do some more videos on this, kind of honing in on this, but this is, I think a lot of creators, a lot of marketers make some mistakes. They go through, they make great videos, long form, short form. Maybe they use something like Opus. They post it over onto their social media platforms and they don't do anything else with it. There's some big mistakes that I see people make. Number one, I don't recommend putting captions into your videos. I don't think they're all that helpful. And what they end up doing usually is kind of getting in the way, especially that initial screen that shows up in people's feeds. I tend to not put captions on my videos, my short form. What I do instead is I put a header or a footer with 2 or 3 words, and then I put that, leave it on. It's on the entire video, and I wouldn't do more than that. And make sure you place it in such a way that it's not being covered up or interfering with the other text that's going to show up because of what, let's say, YouTube or TikTok puts on the screen. And I'll have other videos about that. But one thing I want to tell you about is think about it from the standpoint of someone who's scrolling and may come across your video for the first time. Number one, first thing they're going to see is the image. What is the image? What does it tell them? Does it, if you're a lawyer, for example, does it tell them you're a lawyer? Now, I don't dress like a lawyer, but you'll notice in my background, I have law books, I have the scales of justice and things like that, that kind of indicate to someone that I'm a lawyer, even though let's say I'm not dressed like a lawyer. So that's number one. What does the image do? What does it convey? Does it make them stop? Is it a nice, clear image? And this is where I think it's really important not to have bits and pieces of caption on that initial image. Second of all, is there going to be words on the thumbnail? You don't have to put words on thumbnails, but if you're going to, keep it to a minimum, 3 or 4 words at most. So first thing that's going to make them stop is the image. The second thing they're going to notice is the words, and then they're going to, if they've seen enough and they want to see more, then they're going to go to the title. So make sure you consider it in that order, and that you're thinking of it from the standpoint of someone that's, especially in short form, that's never seen you before. The image couple words, if any, on the cover art or the thumbnail, and then the title. The title should be short, 4 to 5 words, and don't just duplicate what's on the thumbnail if you put some stuff on the thumbnail. That package is what you need to put together for someone that's scrolling and needs to be able to kind of capture in a few seconds what this video is about and decide whether to click on it. So think about that as you're preparing stuff. I don't make separate thumbnails for my short form, but this is kind of how I put it together. Like I said, I can do this in Opus. I can put the banners and footers on there, headers and footers, things like that into it, and then it shows up on the social media. Number 5, and this is sort of related to number 4, and this is again something I think a lot of people really they get so close and then they kind of fumble it on the goal line. Optimize that. Don't just post it to YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. Go in there. So when we post short form videos, we post them and then we go into the platform with either the phone or desktop, and we adjust something. Adjust the thumbnail or the cover art so that you don't have your eyes closed. You're not looking weird. If you have captions, the captions make sense. So make sure that the image at least looks decent enough so that when someone stops, they you like what they see. And then number 2, and this is probably most important, if location is important, add location to your shorts and reels. I do this on all of mine because most of my marketing is sort of regional. I practice in 3 states. I don't need people in California to see my videos. So I go in and I add the location for each one of my videos, or I have staff people that do that now. Optimize that. Take a few extra steps and try to get the biggest bang for your buck that you can out of your short form video. And that's how you will grow a channel. So those are the 5 things I wanted to talk about. I will be talking more about each of those in more in-depth coming videos, but I want to kind of get that out there, give you a chance to kind of see that. Leave any comments or questions that you might have. Otherwise, please subscribe and stay tuned because I have a lot of really interesting and helpful stuff coming out that I'll share with you guys over the coming weeks and months. So thanks for watching. And until next time, everyone, have a good one.